Popular Culture Research Team. How can I help you? And back joining us in the studio for a new month of dramas is Eugene's Eugene. Eugene, hello to you.
Hi guys, happy Friday.
Happy Friday, Eugene.
Yes.
You know what I realized? Because we got a new season coming up.
Yes.
And then last season's end, we're kind of joking, are you coming back or are you not coming back?
Right.
We couldn't even joke this time. Because if we were going to fire her for the new season, we would not even be starting a new drama, right?
Yeah, right.
So you are going to be back for the new season.
I'm so grateful. Thank you guys.
Why are you turning red? Did you?
I have no idea.
You just
Why am I turning red?
Why are you turning red?
I don't know. But thank you very much, guys.
Is this one of those I wanted to quit, but I was waiting for you to fire me instead?
It's not. It's not. Absolutely not.
Okay, I'm glad. Anyways, new drama.
Yes.
I am so excited to talk about
Me
this.
too.
You've watched this?
Of course.
I've watched this twice.
Twice. It's
And-
very rare.
And I still read the webtoon that this is
Still?
based on. It's still going on. The drama ended, but the webtoon is still going on.
Still going on?
Yes.
Oh, I didn't know that.
So, yeah. Anyways, what drama are we doing?
Okay, so the drama we'll be introducing this month is Reborn Rich, or in Korean, 재벌집 막내 아들. So it aired from November to December 2022 and has 16 episodes. And it's based on a popular web novel and webtoon, of course. And it became a huge hit in Korea, reaching a peak viewership rating of 26.9%. You can also watch it on Netflix.
Guys, 26.9%.
That's huge.
It's ridiculous. That's pretty high.
Right.
Again, I don't really watch a lot of dramas, but when I tell you I
know
watch,
that.
when I watch it twice, that means it's good. This is a big success. So tell us
Okay.
briefly what the story is about.
Okay, so this drama is actually a mix of fantasy, business, and family drama. So the main character is played by Song Joong-ki alongside Lee Sung-min.
Oh,
who
such a great
plays-
actor.
Right, the powerful chairman of the 재벌 group named Sun-young. So at the beginning, the main character Hyunwoo, played by Song Joong-ki, works as a secretary for the Sun-young group, and his role is to manage what Koreans call owner risk, meaning he handles problems and scandals for the Honor family. He's extremely loyal and dedicated, but something unexpected happens that completely changes his life. So despite his loyalty, he ends up being betrayed, and that's when the story takes a dramatic turn.
That's right. And this is really the start of it. And he's like, he knows the secrets of Sun-young. And this is interesting because, Sun-young is almost kind of like they play it like it's Samsung. Right? But what exactly happens to him?
Okay, so he dies in a very unfair and tragic way. I don't want to go deep way, but after that incident, he suddenly finds himself back in the past. The story goes back to 1987 and then moves forward again toward the present. But the most surprising part is that he's no longer himself. He is reborn as the youngest grandson of the Sun-young family he used to serve, and that's a huge shift because he goes from being an employee to becoming part of the owner family. And importantly, he still remembers everything from his past life. So he uses that knowledge to take revenge on the very people who were related to Sun-young Group.
That's right. And it's even more interesting. And we have the poster of the exact drama. 재벌집 막내 아들. Right? Basically the youngest grandson of a 재벌 family. And the interesting thing with this is that in the hierarchy, it's very unlikely that the youngest grandson is ever going to be getting a big role in the 재벌. Right? That's the irony of it. And so that's, oh my goodness, Lee Sung-min plays such a great role.
True.
He's not even that old. And they did the makeup to make him look old.
Right.
And he does a great job.
He's such a great actor.
What about the family itself? What kind of family is this?
Of course, the family he becomes part of is a 재벌 family. It's a huge business empire controlled by one powerful chairman and his family. And within the family, there are constant power struggles over who will inherit the company.
That's right. And you always see this happening all the time, right? Is it going to be the oldest son that's going to take it? Is it going to be the second son? Is it going to be who's going to end up taking it? And again, in this era of hierarchy, it's not going to be, first of all, it's not going to be the youngest son who's going to get anything.
Right.
And we'll get into the youngest son of the chairman later on. But the youngest grandson is highly unlikely that he's going to get
You are
anything.
exposing all the storyline here.
Yes. But again, being reborn here, reborn rich. The drama is not about one person, although we do have a main character, but also this whole Chaebol family and the system.
Correct. So it's about one man's second life, but also about power, money, and family dynamics. And because the story moves between 1987 and the present, it also reflects Korea's economic and social changes over time. So even if you're not familiar with Korean society, you can still find it very interesting. There's a lot to explore in this drama.
Yeah, so it's kind of like, we think about this all the time, right? Like, what would you do if you can go back in time?
Oh,
right?
It's a very difficult question.
Eugene, like, how about this? Like, if you can be reborn, go back to the year you were born in, but you have to start all over again.
Start all over again.
But you have all the memories.
Okay,
Yes.
I'm gonna go back.
Really?
To the age of 20 when I was in college.
Kyle, why?
I should have played more, like enjoying my life.
Oh, yeah,
my
that's right.
time.
You didn't even go clubbing. You didn't even go to nightclub. Oh, my goodness. That's literally what you're going to do if you go back in time?
Yeah.
You're not going to buy stocks?
Oh,
You're not going to buy Bitcoin?
of course, I have to. 100%.
That's just, I'm like,
Oh, that's very critical. Very important.
that's usually like the first thing people say. And she's like going, I want to party. That's just,
Party.
well, you
I
could
have
party all you want
experienced
when you make
before.
all the money and stuff like that.
Right. Buying
know-
stock more.
It gets more difficult if you become like, because I'm a parent, right? And if I go back in time, let's say I go back to when I was 20,
Okay.
when I had the chance to buy Bitcoin
Okay.
for a penny, like my friend did. Now I don't know where he is now. But that changes the future. And it might mean that I'm not going to be able to meet my wife. And that means that my kids will never be. And so now I can't go, yeah, I'll go back in time. Maybe I'll do like, I'll go back maybe a year ago.
You
And-
can, right?
I can. My kids are still around, and then buy like stocks, whatever stocks will go up for a year. But like buy Nvidia or something like that, right? But I can't go that back. So, but this is again a guy that goes back as a grandson. He has all the memories here. But again, you're looking at all the history of Korea, significant
True.
history that you can see. Crash Override said, when you inherit, is it just being CEO and inherit equity in the company? It's both. You not only become the CEO, but you also get the equity that comes from your father. Who's going to take the equity is the big thing. And so there's like a huge war over that. So you can't just get the title of CEO, but you also get the equity if you're a family. Chaebol.
Teboy.
And
Teboy
that's-
is what we're talking about.
That's right. So it sounds like, Eugene, we have a lot to talk about this month.
Definitely. So we'll be exploring different topics like Teboy culture, wealth, and social hierarchy in Korea. So if you have any questions while listening, feel free to send them to us anytime.
That's right. And just like Crash has sent in a question, at any time if you have any questions about anything we talk about, send those in. We're going to talk about some of the hidden cultural elements within the start of this drama. But first, let's take a listen to an original soundtrack from Reborn Rich. This is Chongho with Gravity. We're back in the studio. I was explaining to Eugene of all the Chaebol family kids that I met while I was in college. I had a couple of them. I'm not going to mention them because I might get sued. But
Be careful.
I didn't really like them. I'm not going to say which company. I'm not going to say who, but I didn't like them. They weren't my friends. But not everyone's like that, though. And if you're listening, J Dragon, I want to be your friend. 형님, I'm here for you anytime.
Hey, Dragon.
So what are we going to talk about this time?
Okay, so as we mentioned earlier, so Reborn Reach is a story about going back in time and living a second life. So our third topic is the popularity of time sleep dramas or movies in Korea. So in fact, the 2020s have become something like a golden age for this genre. So you see more and more dramas built around the idea of going back to the past, and it's clearly become a major trend in Korean entertainment.
Yeah, so 2020 was interesting because I read a lot of webtoons. And even in the webtoon world, Like every other people were like writing about time slip.
They're all going back.
They're all going back. And again, Reborn Rich was a webtoon.
Right.
And there was so many webtoons that I was reading where it was all about time slip. But I enjoyed all of them.
Oh, really?
Yes.
I just wanted to ask, like, are you sick of it?
No.
Oh.
But I think that's because that's what people are thinking. That's what people are craving. And so we'll talk about this.
Okay.
But give us an example of some of the time slip dramas that are coming out.
So there are quite a few. So for example, Again, My Life is about a prosecutor who goes back in time to bring down corruption.
I think this might be based on a webtoon too.
Oh, really?
It might be, yeah.
Again?
Yeah.
Okay. So, and Twinkling Watermelon tells the story of a boy who travels to the past and forms a band with his father.
Okay.
My Perfect Stranger involves going back to the 1990s to solve a serial murder case. And Lovely Runner, which is the famous one, is about going back in time to save a famous celebrity. So even though the settings are different, they all share the same core idea, which is going back and changing something.
Yeah, and I mean, I don't need to go into all the other webtoons that did the whole time slip thing because it's just like a long list. It is an interesting concept, and I want to ask all of our listeners out there, if you could go back in time to a specific time, would you do that? And which part of that time would you go back to? Is the question I want to ask. And what's the first thing you want to do is the other question. But let's talk about why this topic, this concept is so popular.
Well, I think so. Many people believe it reflects the reality of the younger generation in Korea today because issues like economic uncertainty, job competition, and rising housing prices have created a sense of frustration. So in real life, it can feel difficult to start over or change your situation.
Right.
And that's why people are drawn to stories where characters get a second chance because in real life, we never get that opportunity.
Yeah, I mean, like you can get second chances, but not this kind of second chance, right? Like you just can't. It's impossible. It's
going back
sci-fi.
to the past. Sci-fi.
You know? But also the timing of this is very interesting because it was like 2020-ish, right? And it was like COVID.
Oh, COVID, right.
And do you know what was during COVID? You know what was booming during COVID?
What was that?
Stocks and cryptocurrency. And so there was a lot of people who didn't go in on it. Right? Like, so like the big thing that I always talk
That makes
about
sense.
is I told my brother to buy $1,000 worth of SHIBs. It's a cryptocurrency, Shiba Inu Shiba coins. And he said, why are you going to like waste money on that? That's like bad. It's worthless coin. That ended up being $3 billion if he bought it from me. Till this day, I am so mad. I am so mad at my brother for not buying that. And so do I want to go back in time? Maybe, but that also means that my son would be born, but my daughter would not be born. And I don't think that's worth $3 billion. But a lot of people think about that, and it's kind of like a wish fulfillment, right?
Yes. So watching a character going back in time with all their memories creates a sense of satisfaction. They make better decisions, like avoid past mistakes and succeed in ways that feel impossible in life. And it gives viewers a sense of like vicarious satisfaction as if they are experiencing that second chance themselves. And it allows people to imagine like, what if I could do it all again? So time sleep stories let viewers revisit those moments, and that emotional connection is a big part of why these dramas are so popular.
So, Eugene, you said that if you could go back in time, you go back to college and just party?
Just worry. No, I'm going to tell it more later.
Okay. So I just feel like that's a small wish. But also, you know what I think? I know a few people who, because their job, they go under so much stress that they always like to talk about the past when it was much more simple, when it was less stressful. And it's almost to the case where he even wears like clothes from the past. Like he wears sneakers that were popular from the past. He only listens to music from the past because it was the happiest time for him. And I feel like this is like where you go into the whole nostalgic element too.
That's another key factor. So many of these dramas take place in the past, like the 1990s or 2000s. So viewers get to experience like older music, fashion, and culture again. So it becomes almost like a time machine, letting them experience a different era visually and emotionally. So younger viewers enjoy the fantasy and storytelling while older viewers connect with the nostalgia. And that's another reason why this genre has become so widely popular in Korea.
Okay, and of course you have stories that go back in the 90s and stuff like that, but there's also cases where the characters go even further back in time. Right? And I think we talked about some of them.
Yeah, so some Korean dramas go way further back, even to historical periods like the Joseon or Goryeo dynasty. For example, like Splash Splash Love, a modern high school student suddenly travels back to the Joseon era and meets a king. In The Tyrant Chef, a modern chef ends up in the Joseon era and has to survive using her cooking skills. And in Moon Lovers, Scarlet Heart Ryo, the main character is transported back to the Goryeo dynasty and becomes involved with a royal prince. In these stories, like modern characters wake up in the past and have to adapt to a completely different world. The character has to learn new social rules, language styles, and even survival skills.
But it's also like a cheat code because you also have like the knowledge from the future, and you can use that to help you out, right? And so that's the big thing. Eugene, let's kind of fast forward here because we are running out of time.
Okay.
If you could go back in time to a specific time, which time would you choose?
So, to be honest,
Yes.
part of me would actually like to go back to a time when my parents were younger just to spend more time with them. But if I had to choose a time I'm truly curious about, like I would say the Joseon dynasty because
You want to go back to the Joseon dynasty?
Yes. I can like experience a completely different era, like what people ate, how they lived, even what it felt like to sleep in those traditional spaces. I love Joseon dynasty.
How far back though? Because the Joseon dynasty is a long time.
Okay.
Like,
Before
you're talking about, like,
the Japan imperialism.
I mean, that's still a long time, right? It's like from like 1400 to like the 1800s.
Maybe Sejong, when the king Sejong.
Oh.
Or King of Tanjong.
Our producer does make a very good point. What about the bathroom? The bathroom situation was different back then.
I know, but I have to adapt to a new situation. I told you.
That's right. Sejong times?
Yes.
Okay, and I'd be like, hey, listen, bro. I got this new language. It's called Hangul.
Hangul.
I'll teach you how to write it, and we could both get credit for that. How about that? And I'll forever be known as the co-writer of
We all
the
have to
Hangul.
remember and then go back to the
We have
Joseon
to,
dynasty,
yes,
right?
you have to have the memory back.
I'm gonna help them to create Hangul as well.
Yeah, you stop taking my idea. Stop taking my idea.
That would be my answer.
I'm gonna start, making better weapons, and then help with the Japanese invasion and stuff like that. It's gonna be fun stuff. But again, these are real fun topic. This is a real fun drama, guys. It really does touch upon a lot of the historical events as well. So I really encourage you guys to check it out. Eugene, again, as we hinted, you are going to be back for the new season.
Thank you,
because
guys.
next week we still have to cover this.
Thank you.
Have a wonderful rest of your night. Have a wonderful weekend. We'll see you again next Friday.
Thank you. See you next Friday. Bye.
And sending her out of the studio, this is Toyoung with I Find You, 시간을 넘어 너에게로. Hey! Stop looking at the clock! We still got more work at the Culture Inc. Back in the studio talking about Reborn Rich as the new drama. Crash Override says, so the other members of the family won't get any equity? No. So that's where, again, the will comes in and how much of the equity is given to who. And with conglomerates, there are multiple businesses.
That's why it becomes like war.
Yeah. And so, J-Dragon, J-Dragon? 이재용, Samsung. He took on the major Samsung Electronics. Lee Gun-hee's daughter runs the what is it? The hotel business and the duty free business, and his wife runs the other business. So it's all divided. But they split the equity, and that's where the war comes. You'll learn more as we talk about this. What's our next topic we're going to be talking about?
Okay, so our second topic is how chaebol is portrayed in Korean dramas. And one interesting thing is that when Koreans watch the scenes, they don't just see it as fiction because many of these elements are actually inspired by real life situations. So today we're going to explore how much of this is drama or how much of it reflects reality in Korea.
Yeah, so you guys have all watched like Korean dramas. And you guys have seen cases where they're either chaebol families or they're families of like a really rich family and things like that. And there's always this sort of image that comes out. So how real is it we're going to break down. Okay. What's one example that stands out?
So one scene that really stands out appears early in the first episode. The chairman of the Sunyang group is seen leaving a prosecutor's office in a wheelchair. And for many Korean viewers, this immediately feels familiar because in real life, powerful business leaders often appear in wheelchairs during investigations or court appearances. It has almost become a kind of like symbolic image in Korean society.
Guys, not even like conglomerates, but like politicians sometimes.
Oh yeah, right.
If they're of certain age and they're in trouble, somehow magically, because yesterday they were just walking around, running around, but magically the next day, that wheelchair somehow pops up, and there's a pretty good wheelchair business, I heard, amongst the rich folks. But why do they appear in wheelchairs?
Well, there are a few different interpretations. Of course, some of them actually have real health issues, but at the same time, many people believe it can also be a strategy. Like appearing physically weak or ill can sometimes create like sympathy or like reduce public pressure.
So the way that you'll see it is like they have a mask on.
Yeah.
They have a face mask on, and they have a blanket. It's like 30 degrees outside. It's 30 degrees outside. They got a blanket.
And they always cough like.
And they got the wheelchair. They got the whoever's in charge of this security or the secretary pushing the wheelchair. And then you got the reporters just like flashing photography, and then the cameras, and then the microphones, and they're just like, I answered at the best. I answered the best I can. And then once they get back in the car, I'm like, man, I gotta keep doing this for another month.
That's
It's just
very classic.
But when you see that, though, do you feel bad for them? No, right?
No, 100% no. We all know that it's kind of a strategy, right?
That's right. Like I'm thinking, like if you did it for the first time, and you were the first ever person to do it, maybe that would have worked.
Maybe.
But when everybody starts doing it, you kind of go, "Oh, come on!" Like it works. It doesn't work, right?
Doesn't work.
It has the opposite effect.
We all know the truth.
Right, exactly. And I feel like chaebol characters in dramas are also often shown as like abusing their power.
Yes, and that connects to a very important Korean term called 갑질. So as many of you might know, 갑질 refers to the like abuse of power by someone in a higher position over someone in a lower position. It's not just about being rude. It's about using your position to control or mistreat others. And this isn't limited to chaebol. It can happen in workplaces, business relationships, and even daily life. But when it involves like powerful families, it becomes a much bigger social issue.
That's right.
We're okay though, guys.
Yeah. Hey, if you say it like that, it makes it seem like it's not okay. It's giving the opposite effect. There is no 갑질 from me. There's no 갑질 from our producer.
No wheelchair or something.
Our producer is not going to come out in a wheelchair all of a sudden, or our chief producer. None of that stuff goes on. But we also have this thing like when we watch dramas, right? Like the chaebol grandchild.
Oh.
They're always the young rich going to the club, getting into trouble,
Making problem that
throwing money,
illegal like things,
doing illegal
issues.
things, meeting women, and like if let's say like I'm the chaebol grandson, and I bump into you and like I ruined your shirt. And then you're like, oh my goodness, my shirt is ruined. I have to go somewhere after this, and I'll just be like, 얼마만데? 얼마만데? How much?
How much?
And they always take out their wallet, which is they don't use cash. They have what's called 수표.
Right.
And 수표 is kind of like a bank check. And because the highest denomination is 50,000. So you can't carry 50,000 like a whole chunk. So they have like basically $1,000. And I just go, 사이버. So that's like the weird image that you have of chaebols.
So weird. They always throw it.
And it's unfair because I feel like not everyone's like that, right? I feel like not everyone's like that. But again, we live in a very hierarchical society.
Right.
And what we're seeing is a big structural problem and not just personality issue.
Exactly. That's a very important point. So in dramas, it might look like someone just has a bad temper, but in reality, 갑질 is often about power imbalance. For example, there was a very famous case known as the nut rage incident in Korea. Like an airline executive forced a plane to return to the gate because she was angry about how nuts were served by a flight attendant.
Yes.
Which is ridiculous.
Yes, it was huge because she wanted macadamia nuts.
Macadamia nuts.
And the flight attendant gave it to her in the bag. And she said, how dare you give me a bag of nuts? You should be putting it in a crystal bowl
Right.
and serve it that way. Now, I would have done that, and because, when that's your boss. I mean, not really your boss, but your boss's daughter. But still, you can't act that way. And it's also illegal to divert planes if you're not of the person that's eligible to do that. So it was pretty big. This is a typical case of 갑질.
Yes, it is. And that incident caused like huge public outrage in Korea, and it became a symbol of how extreme power can be misused. And there were also other cases like executives throwing water at employees or verbally abusing staff. Like these incidents made people more aware of the issue of 갑질 and led to like stronger public criticism. And there's another thing I often see in Korean drama, which is families opposing marriages.
That's when the mother
Always mother.
goes 얼마만데? Again, how much to leave my
like
son?
A magical word.
How much to leave my son? Right? Or she'll just put like an envelope and then say things like, I'm sure this will be enough to leave my son. And then if I was the girl, I'd be like,
Checking how much it is.
who's your son, by the way? So it's another classic theme, especially when it comes to chaebol stories.
Right. So in these families, marriage is not just about love. It's about status, background, and business interest. So families may strongly oppose relationships that don't fit their expectations. So in Reborn Reach, there is also a storyline where a family member is excluded for marrying someone the family disapproved of. So marriage becomes part of the power structure, and sometimes they even try to break couples up with money, but like we said before, which is quite ridiculous.
So do you know the story of, like when we think of chaebol, we think of Samsung Group.
Yes.
I mean, that's the biggest chaebol group. And as you guys know, 이부진, she is the daughter of the late Lee Gun-hee, and she is the chairman of the hotels and like the duty free and things like that. You know about her marriage story?
I don't.
She married her security personnel. And it was a huge deal because he was the quote unquote commoner. And it was like a Cinderella story for the guy.
Yeah, but it's like a kind of romantic.
It was very romantic. Like you bought that's a different. I'll always love you. Who's that? Whitney Houston. Is that the Whitney Houston song? Anyways, Whitney Houston, Bodyguard. There was a movie called Bodyguard, and it's based on a singer in The Bodyguard, right? In the same way, it was that,
I didn't know
And they
that.
they said, oh my goodness, you never see this in a Chebar situation. And they got married. They got a son
Son, right?
who recently got into Seoul National University, really smart, but they're divorced.
Oh,
And it was a very ugly divorce.
really?
Yeah, and so it was like, it was
that's
pretty
so
bad. But anyways, at the time, everyone's like, oh my goodness, this has never happened before.
Yeah, it's very shocking.
Yes, but unfortunately, ended in a divorce. But again, that is one of the more iconic scenes of like Korean dramas
Correct.
with the mom offering money.
Right. It may sound extreme, but it reflects how wealth and authority can influence personal relationships. And it also shows how family control can extend into very private aspects of life. And that's why this trope continues to appear again and again.
Ben Song over in Seattle says, I was with a grandchild of a mid-sized chaebol during military service. I didn't know he is super rich until recently.
Oh.
I don't know why I feel better that he was not a good-looking guy. Sorry. Okay. But looks don't matter because he's rich. He's rich. So overall, these dramas are not just about exaggerating things. They actually do happen.
Yeah, so while they do exaggerate for a dramatic effect, but many of these elements are rooted in real social structures like power, hierarchy, family control. So these are all very real themes in Korean society. And that's why viewers find them both shocking and relatable at the same time. It's like a mix of fiction and reality.
So for our listeners out there, for like the Chebar families, and also like famous celebrities, guy celebrities,
Right.
do you know who they seek out? Like the occupation of the woman they seek out? Like they always seek out announcers, anchors.
Really?
Because number one, you have to be very smart in order to pass those like news anchor tests and like the announcer tests. And number two, they have this like very clean cut image that everyone likes.
They care the image.
Yes, and like the adults like that image. Like
right.
very pure, clean cut image. And so some of the most successful, like top notch anchors, they end up marrying into the Chepper family. Not
We
always,
see that a lot.
not always happy, but we see that often. So are you an announcer technically?
I'm not technically speaking.
Well, I mean, you do MC events, so technically you are an announcer. So who knows? Who knows? 재벌집 막내 아들, who knows?
He's married though.
We'll continue to talk about other hidden cultural elements within Reborn Rich, but first, this is Lisa with Money.